It's called color scales. This is interesting because in a color scale format, I have 3 colors that I can use. When I select this data, and when I go to conditional formatting, I say, "Chalo yaar, color scale apply karna hai." It gives me various options of colors. ये options है basically. See, ये पहला option ठीक है. You will realize there are various colors which have appeared, and they have appeared automatically. I did not specify which color has to come on which number. Number 3 पे absolute dark pink जैसा आ गया है. Number 37 पे yellowish shade आ गया है. Number 57 पे green आ गया है. These colors have appeared automatically. These colors which have come on these numbers are not random colors. They are colors based on certain condition which has been applied. When I select this, and when I go to conditional formatting, when I go to manage rules, and if I go to edit rule, here it is. This is how you know which color is getting applied where and why. My lowest value is pink. Because of that reason, number 3 is in pink. My middle value 0 और 100 के बीच में हमारा middle value naturally 50 है. My middle value is coming in yellow, and the highest value is coming in green. That's how my colors are getting distributed. So if you realize something, leaving aside these 3 colors, there are other shades of colors getting created. जैसे अभी ये 49 है, it is created a light green. ये 43 है, it is created still lighter shade of green. तो 14 है, वो थोड़ा lighter shade of pink आ गया. The numbers will adapt to colors based on which is the closest number it is coming to. For example, 3 है, 14 is very close to 3. That is why 14 has got this light pink shade. 37 है, 43 is moving more towards 37. इसीलिए उसमें थोड़ा बहुत pastel kind of green आ गया है. 49 is closer to 57. इसीलिए 49 का green 57 से बहुत close. अगर यही 53 होता, so you'll realize the greens are absolutely close to each other, because it is very close to the largest number. Conditional formatting automatically takes an average of all your numbers, and based on that decides आपका midpoint क्या होना चाहिए. इसका जो average है वो 34.5 है. मतलब जो मेरा तो अगर मैं इधर 34.5 डालता हूं, so you will realize I have an absolute proper yellow because that's the midpoint of all the numbers that we have got over. Are we clear with this? Any questions regarding color scales? Yes? Any questions regarding this? Yeah. I showed you two variations of conditional formatting. One I showed you was data bars. And the second one just now, which I did with you all, was color scales. You decide you don't want 3 color scale and suppose you want to make it 2 color scale. Here I can go for 2 color scale. Lowest value and highest value. Colors you will see will be only 2 shades. Lowest value and highest value. Midpoint मैंने निकाल दिया. So automatically color shades are in between of that particular shade of color. They are very random colors. I can go for something more specific. If I take a transition of 2 colors which are in the same family, for example, if I take the lowest value as dark blue, and if I take the highest value as light blue, I've got only one shade of color. There you have it. You can see all the variations of that blue based on the numbers. I can apply my own colors like I did just now and show you the variations of the different blues. जो highest है वो सबसे light है, जो lowest है वो सबसे dark है. तो बीच में अलग अलग शेड ब्लू के आ रहे हैं. I have got another method of conditional formatting. It's an interesting one. Where you may want to not put any color. You may not want to apply any kind of data bar or any kind of shading of color or any kind of change in the color of your font. But you may want to have certain symbols next to those numbers. बड़ा practical example ध्यान में आ रहा है. I've got a name of a student. I've got maths. I've got science. Let's say I've got English. Sorry. मैं बोलता हूँ चलिए इधर स्टूडेंट स्कोर करता जा रहा है. तो मैथ्स का हम अगर रेटिंग देखते हैं, अलग अलग स्टूडेंट्स हैं, अलग अलग स्कोर्स हैं. साइंस में भी सेम सिनेरियो है, अलग अलग स्कोर्स हैं, अलग अलग स्टूडेंट्स हैं. इंग्लिश में भी अलग अलग स्टूडेंट्स हैं. मैं तो बस रैंडम जा रहा हूं, मैं तो देख भी नहीं रहा हूं कि मैं किसको कितने मार्क्स दे रहा हूं. एक्चुअली मैं रैंडमली नंबर डालता जा रहा हूं. चलिए ये हमारा एक पर्टिकुलर फॉर्मेट बन गया है. and I will go subject wise. I'm not going to select the entire data. I'm just going subject wise. भाई ये maths है. I go to conditional formatting. I say icon sets में चलते हैं. Icon sets has got different types of symbols we can use. I like these arrows. There are either you can use 5, you can use 4, you can use 3. Let's say if I'm using 5 arrows, हर एक सेक्शन में मैं यही फॉर्मेट यूज कर रहा हूं. Now look at this. Very interesting. Over here, I can immediately come to know the student A has got an average score in maths 65. In science, he has performed very bad. He's going downwards 37. In English also, he's gone downwards 45. The red color arrows have appeared very clearly indicating that how is student A performed in 3 subjects. एक जगह पे बोलता है एवरेज, दूसरी जगह पे बोलता है ही इज डाउन. एफ के केस में भी ऐसे ही है. मैथ्स में ही इज डाउन, साइंस में एवरेज है, इंग्लिश में भी एवरेज है. सी इज परफॉर्मिंग गुड, इज गोइंग upward. That means he is showing some progress in mathematics, but he has not yet reached the peak in mathematics. The peak is in green color arrows. The gray color or the brown color arrows are 3 types. One showing that he is average, so the arrow is straight. One showing that he is moving towards progress, so the arrow is tilted facing upwards. One, he is showing me an arrow going downwards, but it is not red. It is still that same light brown color, saying that the student is moving towards the negative, but he is not in the negative yet. So the brown or the light brown arrows, as you all can see, gives me 3 variations: average, trying to move upwards, or moving downwards. एक ही कलर में मेरे को 3 वेरिएशंस हैं. The green arrows show that they have peaked. The student has excelled in his performance. That is the green arrows. And the red arrows show that the student is underperformed. Student has performed very bad. How are these arrows again deciding that 65 is an average, 56 is going towards down? The decision of these arrows is based on a format which has been already created. देखिए यहाँ पे है, तीनों सेट्स हैं. मैं पहले वाला खोलता हूँ सिर्फ दिखाने के लिए आपको. Here it is. 80% के ऊपर अगर आ रहा है तो ग्रीन एरो करिए. 60% में आ रहा है, 60 और 80 के बीच में आ रहा है तो एरो अपवर्ड है. 60 और 40 के बीच में आ रहा है, एरो स्ट्रेट है. 40 और 20 एरो डाउनवर्ड जा रहा है. 20 के नीचे एरो रेड है. अंडरस्टैंड? These are not numbers. These are percentages of the total value जो मैंने यहाँ पे टाइप किया. To make it easier, we can make it into number format. बड़ा इजी हो जाता है. क्योंकि हम ग्रेडिंग तो नंबर में कर रहे हैं ना, परसेंटेज पे थोड़ी कर रहे हैं. 65 is a number. Here I can take a call that any student who gets more than 90 in a subject, he will get a green color arrow. Any student who gets between 90 and 80, he is in the upward range. और इसको थोड़ा और कम कर देते हैं 7. Any student who is between 70 and let's say 50, is in the middle range. Any student who's going from 50 to 35, he is in the downward trend. And any student after 35 is failed. This is a format now based on the number, not on percentage. I selected the full data. I went here and I went to manage rules and I changed the rule of only the first one. Right or wrong? क्या सबका चेंज किया मैंने? See, when you apply one particular rule to one particular column, you select that column and you go and you see भाई मेरा ये manage rules में ये B2 to B6 जो है वो कैसा है. देखिए वो अभी भी परसेंटेज में. ओके. और ये वाला ये भी परसेंट में. तो चेंज क्या हुआ? चेंज सिर्फ मेरा लास्ट वाला हुआ. एक्चुअली I put such a condition. If a student gets more than 90, only then you show me blue. If a student gets something between less than 90 और 80 के बीच में, तो आप ये upward arrow दिखाइए. Remember. And if a student gets less than 35, you show me red. But ये तो 35 है, less than 35 नहीं है. जैसे ही इसको 34.99 मिलेगा, ये हो गया रेड कि भाई तुम आउट ही हो गए, फेल. Because your marks are less than 35, you will get red. Because you are above 90, you will get green. You got 75, you are moving upwards. You got 50, you are average. You got 45, you are moving towards negative. चल गया? Yes, it's working, no? This is the way you can grade people. This is the way you can grade performance of people. That is that person average? Is that person done a better performance? Or has the person failed in what he has done? I have got various names written over here. Simple नाम ले लेते हैं. And ठीक है ना? ऐसे ही रैंडमली मैंने नंबर डाल दिए. I select this data and I want to find out where are my duplicate values. I've taken a very small set of data. This is very useful when you have a lot of data and you want to pinpoint where all duplicate values are appearing. At that time, this is very interesting, very useful. So I want to Excel to highlight all those names which are duplicate. So I simply go into conditional formatting, highlight rules. मैं बोलता हूँ भाई जहाँ पे भी duplicate values हैं उनको आप highlight कर दीजिए. And you will realize that wherever there is a duplicate value, there is a red color bar which has appeared, telling you that these are all duplicate names. That means there are more than one occurrence of this name. This is how we can easily locate duplicate values in our data. इसमें क्या होगा अगर माइक 3 बार भी टाइप होगा तो वो दिखाएगा कि माइक 3 बार टाइप हुआ. For any name, दो बार टाइप. You'll say, sir, what if Mike is typed in small letters? Naturally highlight करेगा. It is not case sensitive. It is not, he will only find Mike which are in capital letters and not find Mike which are in small letters. जहाँ पे भी उसको duplicate value मिलता है उस data range में he will pinpoint and tell you that this particular name has been repeated twice or thrice in your data range. That's how you can locate which are the ones where the values are duplicate. Now, थोड़ा और मैं डेटा डाल देता हूँ. Just putting ऐसे ही random names. I take out this condition. ऐसे ठीक है, ये तो समझ में आ गया कि जहाँ पे भी रिपीट होगा वहां पे ऑटोमेटिकली वो हाईलाइट कर देगा. And I am just going to and I decide ठीक है, I want Excel to highlight only those names which are appearing 3 times. Now I'm being very specific. I'm telling Excel that you are going to highlight only those names which are appearing 3 times. चलिए, how does it work? How does this work where I tell Excel to only highlight names which are appearing 3 times? यहाँ पे conditional formatting में I've got an option of duplicate values, but it doesn't specify whether 1 duplicate, 2 duplicate, 3 duplicate or 4 duplicate. जितने भी duplicate values हैं चाहे एक बार अकरेंस हो या 2 बार हो या 3 बार हो, मैं वो सब डुप्लीकेट को हाईलाइट कर दूंगा. That's what Excel is doing now. When I go to highlight and I choose duplicate values, Excel वही कर रहा है. I'm telling Excel भाई, मुझे सिर्फ वही हाईलाइट करना है जो 3 बार आएगा. चलिए करते हैं. We go into new rule. Whenever there is no rule given to us by Excel, we use a formula to create a rule. Yeah, what is the formula? So I will say equals to count if. Why am I telling Excel to use the count if formula? Because I want Excel to count the number of cells which have got duplicate values. Okay. The reason I put if is because he has to count only those cells which are going to repeat 3 times. Excel will count only those cells which will repeat 3 times. And if it repeats 3 times, then Excel is going to give it a color. That's what we want to achieve here. तो मैंने फॉर्मूला में बड़ा सिंपल वे में लिखा है इक्वल्स टू काउंट इफ. एक्सेल विल से काउंट इफ व्हाट, तो एक ओपन ब्रैकेट डालते हैं. हाँ भाई, फर्स्ट आई हैव टू स्पेसिफाई कि वो डेटा कौन सा है जहां से इसको काउंट करना है. So I tell him $A$1. That's the first cell in which my data is. And the data is continuous. And it's going to end at $C$5. In this range of cells, starting from A1 and ending at C5, I want you to look in that range. If there is any duplicate values, he says, "Okay, you have specified the range also to me. Where am I supposed to start counting from?" I want him to count from A1. And after I finish counting, how many times do I have to check? I tell him I want you to check 3 times, equals to 3. And after I check 3 times, what should I do? I'll go to format and I'll tell him, I want you to fill a color of light yellow, all the cells which are occurring 3 times. This is how I create a formula for not duplicate but triplicate values. And I say, okay, right now, nothing is got highlighted because there are no 3 names anywhere. As soon as I change Tom to Charlie, for example, it highlighted all the Charlies. Same way, suppose Delta was to become Mike, it will highlight all the 3 occurrences of Mike. This is fantastic way of working. And you can apply this formula whenever you want Excel to search for a specific number of names, specific reoccurrence of the same name. भाई अगर 2 बार reoccur कर रहा है तो आप कलर दे दो, 3 बार reoccur कर रहा है तो कलर दे दो, 4 बार कर रहा है तो कलर दे दो. Got some data which is typed on 2 cells. It's got a lot of names. I want to compare the 2 lists, like how they have 2 lists of items, let's say, and I want to find out if there are any common or uncommon items in the list. ये बहुत जरूरी चीज है. This is something which is very important. You may be creating 2 lists, and then you want to know which is the common and uncommon values in those lists, whether it's numbers or whether it's alphabets or whether it's city names. In all the cases, the concept is the same of being able to locate or compare a list. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to select this full data. Now, if I select this full data, how will Excel know which is the first list and which is the second list? Can Excel know? Excel can't know. No? Excel will say you have selected data from A1 to B20. How do you expect me to compare A with B when you are giving me a selection of A1 to B20? How? I can't compare. I have to define, I have to specify what's my first list. So I select A1 to A20. And if you remember, I told you you can give a range of cells a name. Under formulas, there was something known as a name manager. There was something known as new over here. This is where I can create a new name for my data. So I say, ये मेरा first list है. 1 minute. मैंने पहले ही create किया हुआ था. So that we can work from. Yeah. Sorry. So I call this my first list. And I select my data from B1 to B20. And I say, this is my second list. So I created my first list and I created my second list. What I will do is I will select my first list and I'll say, okay, I've selected one specific list of mine. Now let's apply a condition over here. I'll go to condition formatting. I'll go to new rule. I will use a formula over here. The formula I'm going to use over here equals to count if, the same formula I'm using, which I had used earlier. Count if. He's saying count if what? What should I count? I tell him count if second list. And he'll ask, okay, second list. What do I have to count and do? I want you to count it and compare it with cell A1. And if it is 0, then you're comparing. I want you to apply a color. That means Miami Dolphins, Tennessee Titans, and these two blank cells are not there in the second list. I was able to pinpoint and take out unique values or unique names from my first list. By doing this formula. Then you'll say, sir, what about the second list? Because my second list has got more names than my first list, as my first list has got 2 empty cells. So what if I want to find unique names here in my second list? This time I will select the second list. And I say, new rule equals to count if what? Count if first list. Compared to what? Compare it to B1 equals to 0. If you get this value, that means there is no similar. Can you please change the color? Orange. There you have it. He has found all those names which are unique in column A and all those names which are unique in column B, and he's saying all the remaining names are common in A and B. This is how I'm able to take out common names in 2 columns, or you can say I'm able to find out which are the unique names in the 2 columns. So I've got a sheet which has got average monthly temperatures at Central Park, New York. And as you can see, मेरे डेटा में ऊपर months दिया हुआ है और साइड में years दिया हुआ है. So I know कि भाई ये year में January में temperature was this much, February में is this much, March में is this much. But when you look at it like this, it is very jumbled up. It becomes too many numbers to read here. So we convert this into something which is known as heat map. What heat map does is basically the purpose of heat map is to show the cells or to give the cells that particular color based on the temperature that I have put inside the cell, or based on the values which are inside the cells actually.
It's very simple to use, very easy to use, but a very nice way to represent your data. So I'm just going to select that section which has got value. So this is the section which has got values. मुझे इस values के साथ ही काम करना है. I'm not interested with the months. I'm not interested with the years. और ये जो values हैं मेरे, इसको हमको heat map में convert करना है. I go to conditional formatting and I go to color scales and I choose the first option of color scales. तो देखिए अलग-अलग color आ गए. And to make it more effective, what we do after that is we select this and we go to our format and we say number format. Custom में जाके इधर हम general के बदले 3 colons डालते हैं, 1, 2 and 3. 3 semicolons we put and numbers disappear. Now look at this. Looks like a very interesting graph. It's not a graph actually. It is conditional formatting known as a heat map. Now, when I analyze this data, it is very easy. Based on color, I can tell that the most, you can say, hottest month was in January 2009. Coldest month was in January 2009 and in February 2015. तो अभी ये प्रॉब्लम क्या है? रेड होना चाहिए हॉट और ग्रीन होना चाहिए कोल्ड, राइट और रॉन्ग? उसके लगा दिया. बट लास्ट टाइम आल्सो आई शोड यू ऑल इन कलर स्केल्स वी हैव एन एडवांटेज ऑफ चेंजिंग आवर कलर्स. इसको मैं कर देता हूं ग्रीन और इसको मैं कर देता हूं रेड. ठीक है? So this is how we can use color scales and create a lovely heat map like this. तो आदमी को ना ऐसे ही देख के पता चल जाता है, उसको नंबर्स पढ़ने की जरूरत भी नहीं पड़ेगी. He will understand कि यार ये जो particular section है इसमें बहुत ज्यादा गर्मी होता है न्यूयॉर्क में, because on year to year basis. देखिए ये analysis जो कर रहे हैं हम, we are analyzing on year to year basis कि 2010 से लेके 2013 तक the month of July was very hot in New York because there was a continuous heat wave which went on for 4 years. That means there is a possibility that this trend of July being a very hot month in New York continues. The same way, when we look at December and when we look at January, we realize कि January month में ज्यादा ठंडी है compared to December, even though December is a month of winter. The number of dark green squares in January seem to be a little more than December. ये एक dark green है, ये एक dark green है, बाकी बीच वाले सब middle है, 1 and 2. और यहाँ देखिए 1, 2 और ये भी काफी dark है, 3. और February में भी एक ही dark है, 4. March से जाके weather changes and moves from being very cold to a very subtle weather, to a very nice, pleasant weather to be in. And April seems to be the best month in the last 7-8 years for us to travel to New York, because April has a very pleasant weather right from 2009 to 2017, because the color is of that particular temperature or that particular range.